Hey everyone, Shakira here from Elite Events and Creations and the Facebook group SILaholics Anonymous. Today's video is going to be a part of a probably 2 or 3 part video set because it's a long process as far as recording it. So I'm going to go through designing invitations. This one's going to be on me designing the invitation elements and how I got them through tracing and using certain features within Silhouette Studio. So I'm going to go through all of that. Then I'm going to show you actually like me putting together the actual invitation to kind of give those who want to dive into that realm of crafting with the Silhouette Studio. You can, design your own invitations in the system as well. So this is kind of leading into the fact that I'm going to end up doing my last class on the basics before I start jumping into doing actual projects. So I kind of wanted to just give you a feel of the type of projects that we would do. This one is a little bit more advanced. We will build our way up to this. I'm going to start with smaller projects to begin with. And then we'll just build our way up to doing larger projects, whether it's large vinyl projects, paper projects. I do a lot of 3D paper projects from either SVG cuts or Silhouette Store. I do a lot of those. Some of them I design myself. So we're going to build up into it to where you can get the most from your system. And the more you do all types of different things with it, the better understanding you'll get of how the system works, and it'll become like second nature to you. Okay. So get the right file. I designed these invitations here for a client. Right now it's some fictitious information on there. But I designed this for a client. Oh, missing a piece here. So I'm going to show you how I built these invitations. You can see some, they pretty much came from the same thought process and the same design, and it was just certain things that were changed and tweaked and stuff like that. So I'm going to go through and really show you how I came up with the lady and the dress and all of those things. And then when we get into the actually putting the invitation together, we'll go over the actual layout and all of those things. But right now I'm going to work on the elements. Now, for all of those elements in these invitations, I used pretty much these images here. All of these things you see here. These two are from the Silhouette Store. This is something from Google. I ended up tracing, I think, the bee. I'm not sure if that came from the Silhouette Store. And then a hat that I'm going to trace as well. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead, jump into this, get into showing you how to put these elements together. Okay. So one of the first things we're going to do is I'm going to trace. Okay. And I'm using this as just kind of a reference because as you can see, she looks totally different here, other than the fact that she's looking down. So it's a little bit different, as far as what I'm going to do with this particular image. So I'm going to come here, going to come to my trace window, select trace, and turn off the high pass. I'm going to bring down my scale, and I'm going to trace this part. I'm going to come in again, and I don't need the top part. I just want to make sure I get like her dress. So I'm going to come here, and I'm going to remove the high pass. I'm going to now bring my threshold up to capture the majority of her dress. I don't really, it doesn't matter that this part is left open here. So that's that, and I'm going to trace. So now I can move this out of the way. I'm going to color this part in with black, and for now I'm going to color this part in with just a green, just so that I can do the editing that I need to do. Bring to front. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come here. I'm going to double click on it. I'm going to take all of these, highlight them, and I'm going to delete points. And then do it again. Delete points. Okay. Now I'm going to do the same thing here. Actually, what did I do here? On this one, oh, okay, that one I'm going to do in a minute. I have to release compound path on that. So here, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this one. I'm going to go copy. I'm not going to paste it yet. I'm going to select this area here, and I'm going to go subtract. It may take a minute, okay? And now I'm going to double click. I'm going to delete some of these points away. Delete. Delete. Okay. Uh-oh, did I break path instead of delete? Yeah. Okay, no, stop. Going too far. Okay, so actually, what did I do for this part? Hold on one second. I think I need to go back to the trace, actually. Okay, let's go back to the trace. I don't remember getting all of those lines before. And okay, there we go. I didn't take off the high pass filter because I don't want to eliminate the white. I kind of want it to capture that white. So, because I don't want those lines in there. So I'm going to go here. That's that. I'm going to bring my scale down to kind of match the other one. And I'm going to trace. And now I can pull this one away. Is this the one that is? Okay. So I need that one. I'm going to click in here. I'm going to delete that one. Okay. So now I can make this a color. I'm going to send it to the back. And this one I'm going to make black. Okay. So now I can do what I wanted to do. So I'm going to go and it makes it a lot easier now to just kind of edit some of these small points. And I'm going to delete points there and delete points there. All in here, I'm going to highlight all of this and delete. And come down here and delete these points. Okay, I think that's all of those. And what I'm going to also do is I'm now going to, right, now that I have that, I'm going to release the compound path on it. Did it release? Okay, no, did I click the wrong one? Why is it not released? Okay, maybe it did release. Okay, I forget. I'm looking at the black here, but she actually extends all the way up, but she should still be separated. Oh no, because of the arm. Okay, so let me go back into doing that part. So I'm going to take this part of the lady and I'm going to put a slight offset on it. The reason why I'm going to do that is, Let me go to the distance. I'm going to go 0.01 and corner, apply, and let's see if that kind of took care of that. When you did the trace, they didn't line completely up because of how they were traced, so I'm just going to make her a little bit bigger so that when I subtract it, I'm getting rid of all of that area. So I'm going to I'm going to get rid of this one, and I'm going to select here, and I'm going to fill that one with black just so that I can see the difference. And I'm going to copy. I'm going to select this one, and I'm going to subtract. Okay, so now I can click this part of the dress, and I can delete everything else. And I want to delete everything else. Okay, then here I can grab these points and delete them. Actually, I really want to grab all of these and delete them. I don't need any of these points. Okay. Now I'm going to go paste in front, and this section here I don't need. When it comes to her hand, I'm going to get this one and I'm going to delete. I'm going to actually just highlight all of this, hold down my shift key. It's easier to deselect bigger pieces than it is to try and capture these little pieces. So I'm just going to go do that and click on the hand. I'm going to delete that. Now I'm going to come in here and I'm just going to pull this up to where it meets her hand. Same thing with this one. I'm going to grab this point, pull it up, take these right here and delete them. And I can now highlight most of these and delete them as well. And I'm going to take her hand and I'm going to pull this one, 1, 2. Gonna make sure I give her actually 5. Although on the actual thing, I did not do it. I left it as is actually. Yeah. You can go in and you can start to really create, fingers and stuff like that. If that's what you want to kind of separate that. So I'm going to now take this piece and this piece here, and I'm going to weld them. And same thing up here. I'm going to go here, pull this one up to there, grab any point from over here, pull it up here, and then delete the other ones. And I just want to make sure that they line up. Highlight them both and weld. Oh, wait a minute. Did I highlight them both? Undo. Undo. I'm not sure how I got an offset. Oh, I must have hit something over here to where I actually got an offset. I don't want an offset. I just want to select them both and I want to weld. Okay. So now I'm going to go in and just kind of do some editing in this point. I'm going to end up probably fast forwarding through a lot of this so that the video just doesn't become too long with me doing a lot of editing to this. So I'm just going to edit this part. I may not have to. I always think that I'll go longer than I intend to. And then once I actually do it, it's like I finish really quickly. Because I'm trying to go slow so that you all can grasp it and understand it. But sometimes it goes a little bit faster than, I think it will go. So, and then I'm going to delete this point and actually delete all of these. The less points you have, the better. Because it's not so choppy. You can get smoother lines when you have less less edit points. Okay. Okay, so I kind of like how that's looking. So now I'm going to go here and now there are certain things I can design from scratch. There are ones that you know, certain ones I can design, certain ones I can't. Like with this one, it was a lot. When I have like a lot of orders, I'm gonna find, you know, someone kind of started it, and I try not to take the full design, but just make it my starting point, and I'm gonna go in and edit some things. Just like with this one, I kind of wanted her features to be a little bit more pronounced. So in here, I'm going to go here and so that was just some, like, you know, you can do some editing there. On the first one I did, I edited out her nose some. Here, this was kind of too much of a point. Actually, let's just delete that one. Make this one smooth. And there we go. Here, her eyelashes were, you know, for my taste, they didn't look natural to me, so I kind of made them smaller. And I'm going to delete that point. And I'm going to get them to curl just a little bit more. So this is me just, you know, kind of editing this out so that, you know, I use their picture as kind of a good starting point, and then I just go ahead and make a few edits to get it to work how I need it to work. I'm going to cut her hair off now, but I really end up cutting it off more towards the end once I realized how I wanted it, and I didn't like how it was in the hair. So actually, so yeah, I'll wait till the end so you can see why I cut it that way. So now I pretty much have her kind of how I want her. Now I'm going to take the draw polygon, and I'm going to recreate that band that was here. And actually, I need to make sharper lines. So let's go. Uh-oh. I want that to be a straight line, and then connect over here. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go copy front. I'm going to grab this one, and I'm going to crop so it leaves just that band right there. And for now, I'm just going to color that one in with black. Okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to take, I kind of have her, the bases of her. So now I'm going to go ahead and use these from the Silhouette store. I'm going to ungroup. I don't need any of this. Oh, I needed this part though. Release compound, there we go. This one, I don't need any of her. Although if I wanted those particular shoes, I chose it by the shoes that I wanted. I don't need this part, so I'm going to delete it. And for here, I'm just going to take my knife tool and I'm going to split it right there because I don't need the top half. And actually, it was not solid. Let's go back. Let's go solid, escape, and then straight, and cut it off right there. I'm going to delete this part. And now I'm going to just kind of position her shoes now. So I'm going to grab this and I'm going to go align bottom and align right so it goes to the back, and that works. And okay, so now I'm going to just group these together. bring her over here. I kind of tried to just kind of look at her to see where, like, how far down her legs needed to be based on her body. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of create a dress. So I'm going to send these to the back. And now I'm going to pull this one down, pull this one. And I think I kind of have it right up against her leg. Just going to pull these down and go here, delete. And I kind of wanted it right on her. When I originally designed this, I designed it right on her calf. So I'm going to kind of follow I'm going to follow her calf. I'm going to add another point right here, pull it into there, and kind of follow the curve of her calf. And then make it a corner point and smooth this out just a little bit. And trying to remember exactly where I did or how I did the front of her dress, but I know I can delete that point. Let me just look at my reference one. Okay. So it's going up a little bit. Oh, wait, wrong one. Working on quite a few things here. Let's move back over here. And yeah, I can see her legs are a little bit too short, so I'm going to make them a little bit longer. And I'm going to have this come out to about there. And now I'm going to give her a little bit of bootay. And I'm going to delete these. I'm going to actually bring her bottom side down just a little bit. I'm going to bring it out some. This part, yeah, I'm not liking the way it's falling. One up dot here. And let me try and fix this. Butt's looking a little deformed. There we go. Actually come in some to cup it more to where it gave her more of a defined butt. My client wanted to make sure that, she kind of looked like her, and, she wanted her to have body yaddy yaddy, but still be a sexy diva mama. So I'm going to, okay, this is not quite where I want her body to fall. Okay, wait here, and let's go corner and kind of come out. But you kind of get the idea. You're going to play around with designing it and kind of doing edit points and things of that nature to kind of really get her body in the shape that you want it to be. So if I come here and I'm going to pull this one over just to kind of get a better reference. So I think it's like right at her. Okay, I know what it is. I'm trying to go too far up. It's actually a little bit wider, kind of like there. And then, let me, you know what? Let's take the transparency down and kind of come in. I think I'm going to end up messing this up more than I want to. And okay, that's okay for now. It's enough editing for that part. I don't want this to get, extremely, extremely long. And just like a bunch of me clicking points and stuff like that or whatever. So this is just driving me nuts because her butt looks weird. Okay, so that's that part. And then I'm just going to, again, come up here to the areas that I already had the colors. I'm just going to hit my eye, fill that in. Her shoes were on group. Her legs are black. And her shoes, this color. Okay. Now, for her hat, what I'm going to do is come over here and I'm going to come here. I'm going to deselect tie pass, take down my scale, and I'm going to capture the entire thing and trace. Then I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go actually, no, I don't think I have to. I think it's just a duplicate. Yeah, I'm sorry. It wasn't a second trace. What I did was take this off. I'm going to color this blue, take the transparency down. I'm going to copy, paste in front, and then I'm going to take my edit points and delete. And I'm going to add another one here, pull this up, and just follow the curve of this hat. Okay, so that's that. I would go in and actually use my point edit tool, my edit points, to kind of smooth all of these out and get rid of some unwanted areas. I'm not going to go too deep into that. This is just me kind of showing you, just the general part of designing this. Okay, so now I'm going to take these and I'm going to choose this color. And I'm going to kind of position over her head and drag it to where it's a little bit bigger and rotate it. And just so that I can see what it looks like on the other side, I'm just going to give the other side color and I'm going to send it to the back so that I can select them both and kind of, kind of position them about where I wanted. Okay. So that just gives me the general idea of like for her hat. So the same thing with the band. It's the same way I created the other one. I'm just going to take the curve tool, and actually I do that last because I have to adjust the top of this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this and I'm going to move this off to the side just so that you can see me actually make it. And I'm going to go, I'm going to go control. I'm going to go offset. We're going to go offset and just go a very small offset of 0.02. And I can leave that round. I'm going to apply. And then I'm going to take that offset. Oh, come on, come back. Oh, come on. Make it all purple. Grab this one, make it pink. Send it to the back. Okay, so I just want to bring the offset up some to make a small border. Now I'm going to modify, subtract. Now I have this piece. I'm going to make this one black and bring to front, bring to front. And I'm just going to put this here. Now I can make this one yellow. So you can kind of see the definition where you can see that part of the hat like it's on the other side of her face. So I'm going to take this part here and I'm going to select, double click here. I'm going to drag like only on the ones up there, pull it down some. Oh, too much. To kind of where I want it. I'll double click again, shift, and I'm going to pull these back to where they're kind of over her head. This is that back one. I don't need all of these points because all I really need to get is like this little swoop part here. So I'm going to delete all of those. Now I can come back in here and clean this up a little bit. So delete point. And is there, I think there's some elements back here. Delete. So again, this is all in just point editing and again, learning those things such as like point editing, just maximizing, you know, the usefulness of like those tools. So just going to go through, and this takes time. Like it literally took me probably just kind of playing around with it and figuring out which settings I wanted and how I wanted it to look. It probably took me like a half a day to go ahead and fully get all of these elements designed because I kind of, you know, I like this, I don't like that, delete this, delete that, or whatever. But when you're doing it, you know, and it's for business, you know, you take your time and you do it because I want to give my clients the best possible product. So I'm going to now select this part, and for now I just want to group them together and move it off to the side. How I got her hair to change, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the knife and I'm going to take a straight blade and I'm just going to chop her hair off. Okay, now I'm going to double click here, and again, more point editing. Delete, and I'm going to, I don't know which direction, okay, so this is going this way. I'm going to delete a lot of these, put a point here, and I'm just going to move it up because I don't want it to kind of interfere with her hair. So now I'm going to take this part that I cut off, I'm going to flip it. I'm going to come here to where I'm not, you know, on her neck, kind of flip it again, kind of figure out where I want it to be. Select here and weld. And then when I bring her hat back down, ungroup, send to back, select this one, and bring it down back over her head. So now I know I need to do a little bit more editing when it comes to her hair, but now that it's grouped, now that it's all a compound path, I can just kind of come in here and anything that's past her hat, just delete those points. I'm going to put a point there and just bring that in because guess what? You're never going to see that part of it behind the hat because remember, this is a print and cut, not a regular cut. So it's going to print what it sees, like the colors that are filled in. So I can just kind of, you know, just pull those to the back and kind of hide those. Let me come back in and put this band back on her hat. And I'm going to double click here to move this up to that point. And then now again, it's just more point editing to get this exactly how you want it and like the curvature on it. I'm just going to bring this down some. Sometimes there's more than one point. And there, pull this out. And again, just going to go copy front, select this one. I'm going to go subtract. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm going to go crop and fill that with color. and that was the band for it. You know, it looks a little bit different, but that's pretty much how I created like the hat and all those things. Once you have all of those elements, you can take all of this and you can group them together to make sure that the hat stays behind. But actually, let me go back in here and just want to move it. Well, I can't really move it back any because of how I cut it, but that's pretty much the general idea of it. And then you would group it together so that that part of the hat stays on that side of her face. Okay. So that's pretty much it for her, except for her polka dots, which I'm going to show you like on the dress. And where did my dress go? Okay, so now I can delete the hat. I did that. So now I'm going to come here, and this is the base. I want the hanger because I want her to look like she's holding the hanger. So again, more point editing. So ungroup, come here, and this one's a little bit more simple as far as the point edit. Hold down Shift, come all the way up, delete the point, and actually, I'm sorry, I have to cut these. So straight, I didn't even have to delete the point because I can just delete the whole thing because I'm going to have to cut it. And then cut this way. Delete. And okay, so again, you know, you can play around with it, get a little bit more editing when it comes to that, but there's your hanger by itself. I'm going to just take the dress. I'm going to make it black. I'm going to take all of these elements. I'm going to use my eyedropper and capture the yellow in her dress. I don't need these pieces here, so I'm going to delete them. And then this part here, I'm going to take the eyedropper and I'm going to come over to that reddish color and grab that. So those are those elements. I'm going to group those together. And then for this part, okay, I don't have the, oh, I did not do the polka dots ahead of time because those are kind of, it takes me a little minute to design those. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to make a circle. Let's make it a, make it 0.5. So I'm going to come to scale. We're going to make this one a perfect 0.5 and apply. Now I'm going to take a rectangle. I'm going to just put it there. I'm going to make it the width. I'm going to make it 8.5 only because I'm working on 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. I'm going to make this one 0.5. Oh, I forgot to deselect locked aspect. And then 8.5. Okay. So now I'm going to take this and I'm going to go align. I'm going to align left and I'm going to align to the top. Okay. And now I'm going to go, actually, this probably needs to be, let's make this 12-ish to be on the safe side. So we're going to go 12.5 and 12. And now go back to align left. Going to take just this, the dot. I'm going to go copy. I'm just going to go copy about, let's say 25 times. I'm not sure how many it's going to fill in there. This one I just kind of play around with. You can use the replicate functions if you know exactly how many you want and how far you want it to space, like if you want to do the math. But I'm just going to go ahead and free do this. So I'm going to go Control F. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And then I'm going to take one of them pull it here. I'm going to tell it to align to the top and to align right. Now I'm going to hold down my shift key, deselect the rectangle. Oh, I'm sorry. Select everything, hold down my shift key, deselect the rectangle, and I'm going to go space evenly horizontally. As you can see, I have way too many. So I'm going to just start to delete from the middle. Going to delete those and probably going to take one more. Again, highlighting them all, hold down shift, select the rectangle, space horizontally, still too many. And let's see, I'm just going to go here. Deselect the rectangle, delete those, and I still have the rectangle selected. Okay, so now space horizontally. Okay, so that pretty much works. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to group those. And then now I'm going to just go Alt and I'm going to bring it down some to about there, kind of centering it between these two. I have the Design Edition, so my crosshairs are kind of showing me where this, like, I'm seeing the center of it because of my crosshairs. So it's a little bit easier for me to eyeball it. And then now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this box and I'm going to come down to the bottom of these circles. I see now that that box is 1.26. It's probably supposed to be about 1.25. And what I'm going to do now is select here and here. I'm going to group them together. Now I'm going to come to move the B out of the way. I'm going to come to my replicate. And I'm going to do about, let's say, 15. You want to actually come to advanced options. So when you do it, you'll come down, you'll select the down arrow for advanced options to bring those up. I'm going to select 15. You have to select on custom position. And I see here that it's actually what 1.243. So I'm going to put that on my Y. I'm going to put 1.243. And actually, I think hold on, let's see. Let me do 1 to be on the safe side. I think I did that measurement incorrectly. Yeah, I did. Okay. What I really wanted to do is, oh, no, stop. I'm sorry. What I want to do is look at between this one and the top of this. So it's 0.075. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go here and come on, select. I'm going to go here and okay, I already have it selected. Now I'm going to go 1.5 replicate, and that's going to give me exactly double apart. So now that I know that's how I want it to be, I'm going to make this 14. Click here, click there, go replicate. It's going to do it 14 times for me. And that works. I'm going to go and select all of these, group them together. Now I'm just going to shrink them all down. It was easier for me to work with bigger numbers than it was smaller numbers. So that's why I did it so large, even though I was going to shrink it down to really small circles. So that's that. And I'm going to rotate this. And I'm just going to pull this up here. I didn't have as many as I thought I had, so I'm just going to kind of eyeball this. Okay, to make sure I'm covering the whole dress. now I'm just going to color these in with white. And, oh, I'm sorry, I forgot to group them all together. And send it to the back. I'm going to go copy. Select these. I'm going to go crop. It's going to take a lot because there's a lot of polka dots. I actually could have gotten rid of most of the ones around here. So it's going to take a minute for it to crop all of it. There's that part. And now I'm going to go and I'm going to click off of it because I want to get rid of these. And that one. There's another straggly one. And now I'm going to select all of these. I think that's more polka dots than I have in the last one. I'm going to make them a compound. I'm going to make them white. I'm going to now paste in front and then send to the back. And yeah, so I know that's actually way more polka dots than are in this dress. It's a little bit more spread out in this one. So I'm going to go here and remove the line color. And now I can take all of this and just layer it on top. Okay, and now I'm going to take the whole thing and bring it over to the hanger. Bring it to the front. Make the hanger black. Oh, not the outline, the actual hanger black. I'm going to group those together for now. And then on her little bow is where I put the bumblebee. So I'm going to just bring this down, bring to front, and there we go. Put the little bumblebee there. Group all of those elements. Now I'm going to shrink it down to what is like a baby size, or like, you know, and I'm going to put it in her hand, like around her hand, as if she's holding it. Make it a little bit bigger. But you kind of get the idea. And that is how I created that element. She looks a little weird now because, yeah, her body on this one looks totally different. It looks like she has all of this, and then her legs are super, super small or super skinny. So, I mean, it took a lot of editing for this. Let me go ahead and ungroup this, and I'm going to ungroup this one. And I'm going to bring her over so you can see how fabulous she looks. So that's that. And so you can see, you know, it just took some editing and stuff. I think I should have made her legs a little bit thicker. I left them the same size they were, but I actually should have, let me go ahead and select both of these, group them together now that they're colored in. And I think that's what it was. Yeah, I hadn't increased her legs. So that was another reason why I was having a difficult time designing the dress, because I was doing all those little skinny legs. So like, yeah, now I can come in and, you know, I'll probably come out better with designing her dress because her legs were not as skinny. Yeah, see, there we go. I was like, why do I have to go so far in to get her butt to look right? So I'm going to bring this here, curve that out some, take this one, curve it up some, and actually take the whole thing and kind of come up. But yeah, that's kind of your, you know, your overall design for those. And that's just me. I just really wanted to show you that you can take items, you know, that you find and you trace, you can mix them with other things, and you can just use your functions, use your tools and things of that nature to really just make your, you know, make designs your own. not everyone is able to fully design things like from scratch and draw it like out with the pen tool, but you can go ahead and take advantage of some of the elements that you can find on Google and the fact that you have that trace feature, trace them out, and you can manipulate them to look like something totally different. I mean, she looks way different from when we first started, because now she has body, her hair is different, she has on a hat. So you go and you can take those elements and, rather than create them completely from scratch, and knowing how to really edit all those things and kind of have that vision, you can start from something very simple, very basic, and be able to create the design yourself. So I just kind of wanted to show you those design elements. And now I'm going to go and in this one, because I'm pretty sure it is extremely long. Let's see, I'm going to even peek at it. Yes, it took me almost an hour to kind of design this out, and it's still not, exact. I will still play around with it. But this just want to show you how you can take these things and kind of design and make them your own. So now I'm going to take a break in this video, and I'm going to show you how I actually build the invitation, and how I came up with some of these elements, how I got the stripes to line up and things like that. Okay, so very long, but I hope you took notes, or you find it helpful, even if you're just watching it. If you're not a part of my Facebook group, it's SILaholics Anonymous. The link will be in the description box. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them as a comment. Whether you're watching via Facebook or directly on YouTube, you can also email me your questions or your video requests. My email address is also in the description box. So until next time, guys, until I come back, have a great one.